The movie is set in 1962, during the intense standoff between the United States and the Soviet Union. Rumors of an imminent Soviet nuclear attack spread across America, prompting many to build secret bunkers in their homes. Among them is eccentric scientist Dr. Calvin Weber, who has constructed a state-of-the-art fallout bunker in his backyard, complete with all the amenities needed to survive a nuclear war. One day, Calvin throws a party for his colleagues. As they enjoy themselves, President Kennedy announces a secret mission against the Soviets on live television, terrifying Calvin. Believing that war is imminent, he sends his guests away and retreats to the bunker with his pregnant wife, Helen. At the same time, a malfunctioning aircraft crashes into Calvin's house, destroying it. In the bunker, Calvin assumes nuclear war has begun and seals the door, telling Helen it will only open after 35 years, the time needed for nuclear particles to normalize. With their house destroyed, neighbors and authorities presume the Webers died in the crash. Days turn into weeks, and the couple adjusts to life in the bunker. While Calvin feels comfortable, Helen is uneasy, constantly worrying about her loved ones. When Helen goes into labor, she gives birth to a son, Adam, bringing immense joy to the couple. The bunker is well stocked for 35 years, including a fish tank, fuel, a lounge area, and a mini-mart filled with food. As time passes, Calvin homeschools Adam, teaching him about American history, hoping he can rebuild the country someday. The movie skips to the summer of 1965, where construction workers clear Calvin's destroyed house and build a diner. By autumn 1975, Adam has grown into a kind boy, taking boxing lessons from his father and dance lessons from his mother. Meanwhile, the diner evolves into a pizzeria and then a nightclub. Calvin continues to teach Adam various subjects, including the stock market, French, and Latin, often praising his son's sense of humor. One day, Calvin gives Adam his baseball card collection and explains sports to him. The movie then moves to the summer of 1995, with Calvin and Helen celebrating Adam's 33rd birthday. Adam, now a grown man, desires a partner. By 1997, the bunker has reached its maturity, and after 35 years, the door unlocks. The family eagerly prepares to check the outside world. Calvin insists on going first at night, unsure of what lies above. The diner above has become a haven for beggars, who mistake the ground shaking for an earthquake, only to see Calvin in a radiation suit, causing one beggar to faint. Calvin explores his old neighborhood, now unrecognizable and degraded, and worriedly returns to the bunker. At dinner, he tells his family that while the air is breathable, the world above is a post-apocalyptic wasteland. Helen, tired of bunker life, argues that Adam deserves to see the world outside, experience the sky, oceans, and mountains. Despite her plea, Calvin insists on staying underground, but during the argument, he suffers a heart attack. With supplies running out and Calvin falling ill, Helen asks Adam to go outside and gather enough provisions for the next 2 years. She gives him a list of grocery items and suggests it would be wonderful if he could find a girl who isn't a mutant. Before leaving, Calvin warns Adam to avoid the adult video store, claiming it has harmful radiation levels. In reality, he's just trying to protect his son from vulgarity. 35 is too young to experience your first boner, son, Calvin says. After a while, Adam packs his bag and leaves the bunker for the first time. On the surface, he encounters Melker, the beggar who saw his father the previous night. As Adam marvels at the outside world, Melker starts worshipping Calvin and the elevator they used to emerge. Melker believes they are divine beings sent to change his fate. Melker's been drinking too much Listerine. Meanwhile, Adam finally sees the blue sky and waves at people in the streets as if seeing them for the first time. He's stunned to see a woman of color and greets her excitedly. Next, he stumbles upon the adult video store his father warned him about, so he quickly covers his nose and urges others to do the same. Later, Adam gets on a bus and is frightened by the movement. He speaks in an old-fashioned way that doesn't fit in with modern life. The passengers think he's crazy, and the bus driver gives him a strange look. Eventually, Adam arrives at a grocery store and starts picking up the items on his mom's list. When he goes to buy meat, the butcher tells him that a larger order could be delivered to his house. Hearing house, Adam realizes he has forgotten the way back to his bunker. Worried, he searches the city but finds no sign of it. Nearly out of cash, he tries to sell his father's classic baseball cards at a hobby shop. The shop owner thinks Adam is crazy for selling the cards so cheaply and offers $500 for the whole pack. Just then, the shop's assistant, Eve, intervenes and stops the owner from cheating. She informs Adam that each of his cards is worth at least $6,000, as they are extremely rare. She then berates her boss and quits her job on the spot. Witnessing this, Adam is instantly smitten with her. Outside the store, he begs Eve to drive him to the Holiday Inn restaurant. At first, Eve refuses, but when Adam promises her 2 cards in return, she agrees. They soon arrive at the hotel, but Eve leaves before Adam can explain anything. The next morning, Eve calls Adam to the lounge area to return his card, feeling guilty. After returning the card, she tries to leave, but Adam asks her to help purchase supplies, offering $1,000 a week as her pay. Eve agrees, and they buy truckloads of supplies to last for at least 2 years. Later, Adam also asks Eve to help him find a non-mutant wife. Adam meets Eve's gay housemate and best friend, Troy, who is naturally curious. Troy asks Adam about his hometown, and Adam lies, saying he's from Alaska and on a business trip. Troy gives Adam a fashion makeover, and they even go skateboarding. Imagine the 90s feeling like the future. Next, Adam gets to see the ocean for the first time, and he excitedly dives into the water, enjoying himself. He also attends a baseball game and shouts with excitement, finally understanding what his father was talking about. One day, it starts raining, and Adam feels rainwater for the first time in his life. Eve urges him to return to the house, but Adam wants to keep experiencing the wonderful sensation. Out of nowhere, he hugs Eve tightly, implying that he is enjoying life in the real world and perhaps experiencing his first boner. Later that evening, Eve and Troy take Adam to a 1940s swing-style nightclub to find him a wife. They advise him to be himself while approaching women. Surprisingly, Adam attracts the attention of several women, including Eve's nemesis, Sophie. When he and Sophie start to get along, Eve feels uncomfortable and drags Adam away to a table. She then recommends that he look for a sweet girl instead of Sophie. After a while, Adam approaches a girl and they soon get along when he asks her to dance. In no time, Adam wows the crowd with his exemplary dancing skills, honed by years of practice in the bunker. Oh, yeah, he got it from his mama. Meanwhile, a jealous Eve reconnects with her ex-boyfriend, who provokes Adam into an argument. However, he soon regrets it when Adam demonstrates his boxing skills, having trained every day with his father in the bunker. Because of all the commotion, Eve gets irritated and decides to abandon Adam and return home. A while later, Troy also arrives and informs Eve that Adam left the club with Sophie. Hearing this, Eve storms out of the house and gets in her car to get Adam back. Just as she is about to drive off, Adam suddenly knocks on the door, startling her. Following this, the two return to the house and Adam explains that he politely rejected Sophie, as he could only think of Eve. He then expresses his love for her, and the two finally kiss. Now, with Eve by his side, he decides to tell her about his past. He reveals that he lived in a fallout bunker with his family for 35 years, and is seeing the outside world for the first time. He also expresses his desire to make Eve his wife and take her to the bunker so they can live a happy life. However, Eve thinks he is crazy and asks him to leave. The following day, while learning to drive a truck with Troy, Adam spots the adult video store from earlier and finally discovers his bunker's location. He hurries back to Eve's house to tell her about his finding, but he notices 2 psychiatrists waiting for him there. Adam initially cooperates, but escapes after giving Eve and Troy the key to his hotel room. He asks them to take all the cards and pay his hotel bill before driving away in a truck. A while later, Troy and Eve reach Adam's room in the hotel and find clothing, toothpaste, and other items from the 1960s. They also come across valuable stock certificates of Adam's father, now worth millions. With this, they conclude that Adam is not crazy and that he was telling the truth the whole time. Meanwhile, Adam returns home after 2 weeks in the outside world. He hugs his parents and tells them how lovely the world has become. Soon, Melker and his friends help Adam load the supplies into the bunker. On the other hand, Eve and Troy try to locate Adam's underground bunker, but to no avail. At night, while they are returning home, Eve spots Adam outside the adult video store. She immediately calls out his name and gets out of the car. They embrace and kiss each other, and Adam takes her to meet his parents. Calvin and Helen are impressed with Eve, but Adam wants his father to wait for 2 months while he makes arrangements outside. During this time, Adam and Eve sell the stocks to build a new home in the country, identical to his previous house. They plan to bring Calvin and Helen slowly to the surface and start a new life with them. After a few months, Adam's parents arrive at their new home. They are astonished to see their son do so much for them. While Helen and Eve prepare dinner for the family, Adam reveals to his father that there was never an atomic war, and that the bomb was not a bomb. Instead, a plane crashed into their house. He also reveals that the Soviet Union collapsed without a war. However, Calvin is unconvinced and mocks his son's revelation. The movie ends as Calvin plans to build a new fallout bunker, while Eve watches from the kitchen window and plays with her engagement ring. Subscribe for more videos like this, turn on notifications, and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.